back to MG Midget, the birth of a race car, capturing my journey from car restoration through to the 2022 MG Car Club Speed Series. In this episode we're going to be swapping the steel boot lid for a nice lightweight fiberglass one. So this is what the back of the car is looking like at the moment, and what we need to do now is start to consider what the car is going to be doing, which is hill climbs and sprints. So together with the flip front, which will be subject to another video, the other change we're going to make is change this boot lid for a fiberglass version. So this is the lid. Comes largely finished. There was a couple of dimples in the top, so I'll put a little bit of stopper here in, so when I key bodywork for paint, that will get smoothed over cleanly. Inside we've got the internally captivated nuts and the webbing there ready for the lock mechanism. So next job is going to be to get the lock mechanism off the existing car and pre-fit it to the boot lid. Luckily it's just 2 bolts inside here to remove the support for the lock, so once we undo those the lock should come straight out. So as always, it's never quite that easy. So while I'm taking the boot off, though we've got the mechanism free, there's 2 little nuts here holding the lock mechanism on. So we'll need a spanner and a little bit of patience, I think, to undo those 2 from that remote location there. So all set up for spraying the front end, and I'm also going to spray the boot lid. So that's the first coat on, gives it a bit of a guide, just so subsequent coats have got something to grip onto. So I'm going to put onto the car another 8 or 9 coats to get it up to a nice thick coat that can be cut back. So take a look at my other videos where I did the car body if you'd like to see the detail. So I'm going to get on with that, and next you'll see the finished product. So now the boot lid is painted, it's just a case of securing that to the car. I'm using the existing mounting brackets. You can just see my aluminium firewall here. And one thing to note is on the fiberglass boot lid it's metric nuts rather than imperial, so I've had to source some M6 bolts to be able to secure that in. So 6 of those, 3 each side, and secured the boot lid to the car now. So I've really established the lock onto the boot lid, so you can see here the aperture that I had to cut for the lock to come through. Other than that, I've used the same standard bracketry, drilled 2 holes through to allow that to clamp. So now when I open that, opens and closes as it should do. I'm happy with that. Another thing to note here on the fiberglass boot lid is what I did have to do is trim using a flat wheel on a grinder the corner edges here of the fiberglass in order to get it to fit properly. So you can just see here how I've trimmed that down in order to get that to fit. So just something to be aware of if you've bought a fiberglass lid. So there it is, all mounted up to the car, painted the same colour as the rest of the car now, so that blends in well. You can see the lock mechanism. No badges on it. I am allowed to take the badges off under the regs, so I've left those off. So now we've done that, I can move on to the fiberglass front end.